The Avett Brothers, live in concert, Friday, August 25th, Wells Fargo Arena. On sale now at HighVTix.com.
Chris Williams, Chris Hassel. Two guys named Chris. Presented by Fareway Meat and Grocery. From the Channel Seed Studios, this is Iowa Everywhere.
Channel Seed. Seedsmanship at work.
What's up? Happy Thursday. It is the 10th of August, 2023. We got a lot to get to today. We got Iowa State's special teams coach met the media. We got a quarterback competition. We have a controversy over the Ray Guy watch list. We've got all sorts of great tidbits about bowl games. NFL preseason really get going. What is going on, Chris Hassel?
You buried the lead.
About my meat box that I got in the mail yesterday?
What? I feel like I'm on a prank show at this point.
Yeah, it was great. Yesterday I come home.
Didn't you already get a meat box a year ago when I was supposed to get mine? When
no,
you
this
promised
was my
me
first.
Mine?
This is my first meat box. But it was a great surprise yesterday. Came home from the office, and this beauty, full of steak, was sitting on my doorstep. I appreciate our friends at Fareway Meat and Grocery. I've had a great relationship with them for a really long time, and that was really kind of them. They didn't have to do that. It was really, really nice of them. So I'm going to fire up me some of them steaks this weekend. It's going to be delicious.
Did any part of you think that maybe they were sending that to you to send to me?
No. I mean, if that was the case, it was not relayed to me very well. It was not relayed to me at all. I don't know. I gave them your address a year ago. They must just...
I'm getting pissed. I'm getting upset. I really am.
It's not our fault you moved to Florida. It's got to be difficult to shift meat halfway across the United States.
You promised me a Fareway meat box when we started the show. That was one of the reasons why I did the show with you. And
just
I joined
to get the
Iowa
meat
Everywhere.
box.
Yes. That was part of your pitch. You're like, hey, I know we couldn't do the radio show together 10 years ago because it didn't work with our schedules, and I'm looking to start this new company, Iowa Everywhere, and I would love for you to be a part of it. I want to do a podcast with you, just the two of us. I'm not sure what we'll call it, but I'm going to promise you this. If you do the show with me, I will get you a bunch of free meat from Fareway. I will send you a Fareway meat box within the first few days of this agreement. And I said, all right, great. This
is a lie.
That's what put it over the top for me. I'm not sure I would have done this had you not offered me the Fareway meat box.
Mr. Teddy is in the comments. He's watching on YouTube. He says that you eat plant-based meats. Huh.
I've never once eaten plant-based meat. I would try it. If Fareway, if you have any plant-based meat that you want to send me, I'll take that at this point.
I had a really good conversation with a longtime friend, a former media guy. I'll tell you his name off the air. He was telling me yesterday how much he enjoys the show, about how this is the one show that he feels like he can't miss. And then he goes, yeah, that Hassel. He goes, God, I just want to punch him half the time, but I really kind of started to like him.
Hey, you know what today is? It's our 100th show.
Wow. Is it really?
Well, I guess our 100th show of doing Monday and Thursdays. We've done some breaking news ones, but our 100th traditional show.
Really? The
Congrats,
100th
guys.
Two guys named Chris?
Yep. I counted it up.
That's 100 shows of no Fareway meat box for me. At this point, I'm going to start charging interest to you.
One of our commenters says Dr. Oz actually recommends plant-based meat.
There it is right there. You see it? Couture Dr. Oz 2024.
I need to get my Clarinda Academy one that Kelderman made me in the background.
The sign is so heavy that I can't move it.
It is very heavy.
I sat it on the floor there.
Well, that's the thing. I don't really know in my setup how I could even get it so you guys could see it. I would have to like hang it.
You would need to, you'd need to like put it on the wall or something. I mean, these are no joke.
No, they're heavy duty. Like that could, Hassel, you could put that Cooter Ray Dr. Oz sign out there in a hurricane. And it wouldn't
move. It would not move. Yeah. Everything else might blow away. But the old Kelderman Manufacturing Couture Ray Dr. Oz sign is going to be fine.
All right.
By the way, hey, wait. The original lead to this show was supposed to be another piece of weirdness.
Are you talking about the chair?
What the hell is going on with We Will and Bloom? I get all these people sending me this thing last night on Twitter. The We Will Signature Series bench pre-order signed and engraved by Brent Bloom. Only $2,000.
So I do have some information on this. The Amish made this. This is an.
That makes it even better.
No, I'm serious.
Look at the Bloom signature.
I had to load this thing in the back of my truck just last week. Okay, it's an Amish bench. They allegedly are making these with like John Walters and Eric Heft and like all these real celebrity furniture sets with their signatures on them, and somehow Bloom got roped into this as well.
Wait, We Will Collective is in the chat. We don't have a meat box, but we do have a chair on the way to Del Rey.
I thought Bloom's comment on Twitter was gold last night when he says, "It'll look great next to your Kelderman sign in the front yard or by your pool."
My house is turning into a circus. The
Speaking
lime
of a
green
circus,
Couture Ray sign.
These collectives, man.
What's going on?
Well, I mean, did you see that we got the coffee now? The cold brew coffee. So screw you, Iowa. We invented coffee. You can't do it now.
Okay, so what do we have now from We Will? We've got the beer, obviously, the NIL beer from Westo. You've got the athletic department beer that's going to go help fund, I don't know, Jamie Pollard's vacations. And then you've got another Cyclone beer.
You got the
that's
Jack
like,
Trice beer. The Jack Trice Legacy.
Aren't there
Foundation
4 different
beer.
beers? There are 4 different beers, correct?
Well, there's 3. I had heard rumors of a 4th.
Okay.
Which would just
Okay, let's keep it at 3. 3 beers.
Stop it.
Now you have the cold brew We Will coffee.
There's a vodka coming out.
There's a vodka coming because you're copying Iowa again. And now you have the Brent Bloom Signature Series Amish Adirondack bench for only $2,000. From if I get that before I get the meat box, you're in big trouble. Bloom said he's only going to charge me $1,900 for it because he'll take the $100 off of what he owes you.
$1,900. What is that? What does that pay for? Like, does that pay for one player to go to like a charity event for 30 minutes?
Look at that thing. If you're looking for something to just,
it's actually, it's real. It's very gaudy, but I've seen it. It like rocks. It's actually very, very nice. Very well made. These Amish, I tell you, man, they make some damn good furniture. These Amish.
Quality Amish craftsmanship.
What if you're like not Amish? Like, does that automatically mean you have to price things lower? Like, if you're an Amish, can you automatically hike it up 20% just because you're Amish?
Did you say if you're an Amish?
No, if you're an
If you're an Amish. You can already just charge whatever the hell you want. You one of them Amish. Are the Amish fans of Iowa State?
The Amish fascinate me. We drive by them all the time when we're going down to the Ozarks, and like these people are incredible. They really are. It's like you got all this stuff. You got all these iPhones. We got everything, and they're like, "No, we're good. We're just gonna kick it like old school." I love it.
I was when I was visiting my dad. It was I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and it was some random weekday. And he's like, "Well, we're gonna have to leave the house at about 3:00 because the cleaning people are coming." I said, "All right." He said, They're usually only here for an hour and a half. Cleaning people roll up, and he's like, "Oh, there's something I need to tell you. I think they're Amish or something because they wear weird robes." And they pulled up, and yeah, they were all like and I don't know what they were, but they were all wearing like these dress robe things. They didn't have the like thing on their head, but I'm pretty sure my dad hires the Amish to clean his house and probably pays extra apparently for it. If you're an Amish, I'll give you more to clean my house. I didn't know the Amish just had carte blanche to charge whatever the hell they want for things.
If you go to like Homemakers, no, I'm dead serious because I just
Homemakers
bought.
Amish?
Well, listen, I just bought some patio furniture a couple months ago, and there's like the good, best, and better. Good, better, and best. Like like they label the furniture.
Yeah.
And they just save all of the best. It's just, the Amish made this. And I'm like, well, theoretically, couldn't a non-Amish person have the same craftsmanship as an Amish?
There you go again, an Amish.
An Amish person. You know what I mean, though? Like, it's wild to me.
So
what if a non-Amish
I guess I didn't know this
person,
because I don't go out anymore, but like I don't go to stores or anything. But I thought, if you go to where is it, Kelowna, the Amana colonies in Kelowna, Iowa, which is over by Iowa City, and you go to that, what's that that restaurant there?
The Yoke?
That you,
There's
I don't know what
Yoke.
it's called, but it's in the Amana colonies, and it's kind of like the machine shed where they bring out like just a bowl of cottage cheese and coleslaw, and it's like family style. There's no way.
Oxyoke Inn, is that it?
Oxyoke Inn. There's no way that's expensive. You really think that's like fine dining, and they're charging an arm and a leg because an Amish made it? Huh?
I really don't mean to sound like that. An Amish person. God.
Yes, the Oxyoke Inn is what. And I remember we took a field trip there
To the
when I was in like
Oxyoke
elementary
Inn?
school. Yeah, to visit the Amish. And they had like a bunch of saltwater taffy. Oh, my dad says it. What do you mean it's German?
I bet that they.
I mean, aren't the Amish? I mean, that's
the Amana colonies are German.
yeah, but they're. So you're telling me that they're not Amish?
I don't think the Amana colonies are German.
What? You just said it was.
Or, I don't think the Amana colonies are full of Amish people. I just think it's like.
Wait.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah. Amish people
So
don't
those
live in the Amana colonies.
Wow, you're
They're just-
breaking news to me right now.
Yeah. This whole thing of your dad's cleaning people reminds me of the Seinfeld where George is afraid of the carpet cleaner.
The Sunshine Cleaners.
Yeah.
What is this?
The
you
Amana
go.
colonies
Historical
are
facts.
not and have never been Amish. They both came from Germany.
Okay, there are some similarities, but they okay. Oh, they drink alcohol. It says.
Yeah, I thought there's the brewery there. All right, can we get to Iowa State special teams coach, please?
Huh. I don't know. I don't know if I can ever get past that. I really thought that I was living right down the road from Amish people all those years.
We're in
But
the
yes,
Channel Seed
yes, please.
studios. Okay, so we got the special teams coach, this Jordan Langs. He says, we want to be the edge. We want to be the edge in big wins. We don't want to be the reason for a tough loss.
Oh, God. You're asking for it now.
Praise the Lord. We asked for the special teams coach. We got it. And now we have a 3-man battle to be the starting kicker at Iowa State. Not one, not two, 3 men.
Which one of those is one of those the guy that Bloom bought for $25 in the transfer portal?
Yeah, Chase Contreras. He's the Nebraska transfer who had only kicked one field goal in his 4-year career at Nebraska.
He was 1 for 2 in 4 years.
You've got Jace Gilbert, who was the young man who had the big misses last year, who Matt got very defensive of later in the year, if you remember that. And then you've got this Keegan Shackford, who I don't know a ton about. I believe he's a walk-on as well. So I don't know. I guess it was in a weird way as an Iowa State guy, Hassel comforting to, as Matt's got this video of these specialists out there for Iowa State working in the practice facility. If you're watching on YouTube, it was I'm not kidding. I don't think in 8 years Matt's been there I've ever heard from a special teams coach talking about it. It was different yesterday.
But so there is a caveat, right? Isn't he also the running backs coach?
Yeah, he's doing something else, yeah.
So he's still splitting time. Special teams is so important. We've seen it from Iowa. Iowa's coach in waiting is a special teams coach.
Mm-hmm.
LeVar Woods. All the problems that Iowa State has had over the years, especially in the Campbell
he is
era,
a running backs coach, you're right.
With special teams. Just get a guy in there that's all he does. Special team. How many times has Iowa State lost a game just because of special teams?
A lot.
I mean, God. I know Iowa State's lost a lot, but a lot of those are because of special teams mistakes. So I hope that he really is giving at least, I hope it's more than 50% to the special tems.
I don't,
because they need it.
They've had these, because these staffs are so big now.
Yeah.
When we first got in the business, I'll bet you these football staffs are twice the size they used to be. They've added
all
these
the special assistants and
the quality control and the grad assistants and I don't think, and I don't want to overspeak here, but I'm trying to. I don't think they've ever even labeled anyone in charge of the special teams until this year. I think it's just been there's a guy who's a special teams consultant or stuff like that. So I'm just saying it was different for me yesterday. I wasn't there, but I watched the interview, and this guy seemed I don't know, he seemed sharp. I don't know a ton about him. He's a former head coach. But I just don't remember a coach going up there and all he's talking about is special teams.
Correct. Yes, and I think that's I think we got to him last year, Williams. I really do. I think 2 guys named Chris got to Matt Campbell. He finally needed to start taking special teams seriously. If you want to win in the margins, that's the ultimate margin, special teams.
I really do worry about the kicker thing because I think the rest of Iowa State's roster, even with the gambling stuff, I think it's good enough to be in these games. But the problem is, and you just kind of noted it, Iowa and Iowa State play a similar style. Now, it looks different offensively, right? You guys are lining up in the 1940s formations, and you're got a fullback, and you're doing. But Matt's philosophy towards football, in my opinion, is not that different of Kirk Ferentz. I think they're very similar in that sense. Developmental program, complementary football, all that stuff. Think about over the years with your team. If you had how many games has Torrey Taylor won for you? Realistically, in his career, he's won a lot of games for Iowa. How many last-second kicks has Iowa won in your lifetime as a fan? The kicker thing frightens me because if you have an average kicker last year, you're in a bowl game. Despite everything else, you make a bowl game.
How about an average holder? An average snapper. I mean, every time
They had
you get
3
problems
punts
with this.
blocked last year.
Oh my God! And that's just can't
again,
happen.
though, Chris, despite all of that, despite everything, if you have an average kicker last year, you are in a bowl game. If you're Iowa State, and now like there's this 3-man deal, and it's like I guess it's good that there's 3 guys, but man, I kind of wish there was just one. You know what I mean?
You could say the same thing about the quarterback position. It's a 3-man race there too, according to Campbell.
Yeah, I think it's more 2, but I think it's Rocco Becht and J.J. Cole.
Didn't he say
reps.
if they had a game tomorrow that all 3 quarterbacks would play?
Yeah. So, that's staggering. The third guy, I think that you need to have the little caveat. So he's this JUCO transfer.
Mm-hmm. He's the one that they got when the Deckers news came out.
Yes.
They knew that Deckers is probably going to be gone, so we better get somebody.
Think Joel Lanning with this guy. Like,
okay.
Matt's right, he would play, but I don't think they're going to have him out there like slinging it around. I think he's going to be 3rd and 1. We've got packages for this guy to come in, and he can run the football. He can be that type of player. But yeah, it's down to Rocco Becht, who barely played last year, but he's been in the program, and then J.J. Cole, the kid who is from Ankeny, who's the legacy kid who is one of the most highly touted players that Iowa State football has ever signed. Personally, I'd like to see the sophomore Becht win the job. Actually, he'd probably be a redshirt freshman, I believe.
Why?
Well, just because he's been there for a while. I'd like to let Cole marinate a little bit.
Wouldn't you want Cole to just come in there as the highly touted prospect and just go out there and sling it? Be a Johnny Manziel. I just watched that Manziel doc last night. Comes in, freshman, Heisman. Boom.
I mean, if he's a Heisman Trophy candidate, absolutely, I want him to win the job. I'm looking around though, and you know, you've got a running
Someone
back
asked me
out.
after
You've got all these guys out. Like, I don't want to just throw them to the wolves and ruin them early on either.
Someone asked me after the Deckers news came out officially, if that should change. Like, should I hit the under on Iowa State wins? And I think that was already baked into the number. Where does it stand right now, the Iowa State win total for the season? And I also Deckers was so bad last season. At least there's a chance that one of these guys could be better. They could end up being better offensively because Deckers isn't playing. Agent Purr says it's off the board.
Oh, I'm looking up, and I have my Circa app pulled up right now. Give me a second.
Why would it be off the board now? I mean, we knew this whole time, and
you can bet it at Circa. It's at 5.
Can? Okay, 5.
Yeah.
What's the juice? Where we at?
It was 5.5. There is no juice.
No juice.
No
5.
juice right now. It's at 5. It was at 5.5, so they dropped it by a half.
So it's
game.
come down by a half game when the Deckers news came out. Boy, I have a theory too. I don't know if they get to 6.
I can't wait to talk to Jeff Benson and some of these guys about this when we go out to Circa in a couple weeks. You know how like Phil Steele and these guys, these analytical gurus, have these formulas. So like if you lose X amount of games by single digits and you have X amount of players coming back, you're due for like a bump. Like, hasn't that all kind of been thrown out the window with the transfer portal? Like the way they used to tab these teams in the preseason?
It's certainly taken a huge bite out of it, yeah. But I still think there's some teams that might remain similar enough.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's completely wiped them out, but like, I don't know. I'm with you. Like, I mean, I think that all this news, I think that a half game is fair. I don't know if I'd take him down a full game, though. I mean, he was one of the most inefficient quarterbacks in the Big 12 last year. So, I think they're going to keep it really simple and hope and try and win with their defense. I think it's going to look a lot like Iowa, to be honest.
Was it a week ago or longer that the gambling stuff came out? And you and many others said, all right, this is it. It's about over now. And I said, hang on, brother. We're only in the 4th inning. And nothing else has come out. Have no idea who these other guys are.
Well, I know who they are. That's the thing.
Like, the public doesn't know who these guys are, what they bet.
Subscribers do.
I'm talking Iowa and Iowa State, okay? We don't know. I'm not saying necessarily we don't know their names. What I'm saying is we don't know what exactly they did.
I agree.
How long they're going to be out. And if this thing doesn't come down in the next couple weeks, they're going to all have to sit out.
Yeah, Randy Peterson reported that it's Isaiah Lee, Jake Rimsberg, and Jairel Brock that are not practicing with Hunter Deckers. I know one other name.
And look, it's a huge difference. Let's just say one of those guys only bet $100, and he was betting on the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah.
Another guy bet $5,000, and oh, by the way, he also bet on an Iowa State game. I mean, there's a huge gap here. We still don't know. It could be one game suspension. It could be you're done forever, and we don't know yet. And will we know by the time the season rolls around, which week 0 is, well, okay, next week the AP poll comes out. The week after that's week 0.
I don't think that we're going to get another deal like we did last week when it's like, hey, this guy bet $2,245 and one of them was on. I don't think we're going to get that if it's not legal. I don't think Iowa and Iowa State are going to put out a press release telling us how much these guys bet and what they were betting on. I really don't.
But they will need to know, right? The NCAA will know, and that's how the suspensions will be handed down.
And then Iowa and Iowa State are going to tell us these guys are suspended due to NCAA rules. They're not going to. They will not give us specifics on this. I really don't think so.
But won't we know how long the suspension is?
I believe so. Yes, you'll be able to do the math on your own, but it's not. I don't think like the specifics.
But
are
if
coming.
somebody bet on an Iowa State game, they're done.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, and that's still a possibility. How many people? What was it? 6, 7 people.
7 between the two.
Were involved legally because they tried to go through a proxy or whatever, tampering, and several of those people were betting on whether Iowa or Iowa State games, and that is you're done. So if we still have 30 plus more, 34 more between the two schools, and they're not all football players, obviously.
No.
But I think the chances are pretty good that at least 1, 2 of them bet on their own game and might never come back. Do you think the coaches know yet?
I think the coaches know which guys are in trouble, but I don't think they know.
See, that's a huge problem.
Yeah, I don't think they know.
If you don't know if it's like, okay, it might be one game suspension. I think one guy's won and one guy's done.
I do believe that Iowa State, and I cannot speak for Iowa. I think Iowa's handling I think the two schools have handled it a little bit differently. I don't think one's better than the other. I think Iowa's kept their guys around a little more acclimated with the program, where Iowa State has really cut them out. I think Iowa State is planning on all these guys being out for the year, and if they get them back halfway point, then they'll take them. That
might be the way you have to.
That's what Iowa State.
That's how you have to think of it.
Yeah, Iowa State is not planning on these guys playing this year.
The only way that they would play is if the NCAA finally comes out and announces what the deal is, hands down suspensions, and they didn't bet on a significant game of their own. They didn't bet on their own sport. Both those things have to happen for these guys. NCAA will have to come out at some point, either before the season or during the season, say who's suspended and for how long. And if any of these guys bet on their own game, they're not coming back anyway. Or if they reach like a price threshold, right?
Yeah, it's like $600 or whatever it is. It's really not.
Yeah, if they're like Euless and they bet 40,000 plus, that might be a season. Allegedly, I got to throw in allegedly because it's all still being decided. But
we're here in the Channel Seed Studios. We are presented as always by our friends at Fareway Meat and Grocery. Let's get to Iowa. Chad Leistico has the Hawks going 9-3. I thought that was interesting. Of course, Chad will start podcasting for us next week with Scott Docterman, our all-star.
Have you announced the names of the pods yet?
I have not. Do you want me to do that now?
I don't know. I think you should. I don't think you should do it on our show. I think you should put it out
okay,
in writing.
Leistico and Docterman will start next week, along with Nick Osen and Jake Brind on the Big 12 side. Yeah, Leistico put out his column where he goes and picks game, like team by team, like final record. He got Iowa at 9-3.
Hey, Van Wink, why don't you pull up Iowa's schedule and let's go through this? Because I just had a conversation with some of our national college football guys. The Cover 3 podcast, which has like Tom Fornelli, Chip Patterson, Bud Elliott, those guys. They go through each and every division and they pick an over-under win total. And they just did the Big Ten West yesterday, I believe, and four of them picked Iowa's over-under, which is 8.5. 3 of them went over. Chip Patterson was the only one that went under, and I talked to him yesterday. I said, Chip, what's up, bro? And he said, I've got them 8-4, Hass. They're an 8-win team. I said, man, the schedule's really easy. So let's go through it.
Real quick. Just want to give a shout out. I pulled this up to J&J Ag Solutions. Jason Henning, our man in Esterville, Iowa, 6 years as a channel seedsman. Hat off to you, Jason.
Wait, Esterville?
Esterville, yeah.
Oh, you know what Esterville is, don't you?
Should I?
Isn't Esterville the midgets?
Little people.
No. Van Wink, let's put this Iowa thing on pause a second.
They're the little people. It's not.
Van
you can't
Wink,
say that word now.
Look up Esterville midgets. Their mascot is still the midget.
Little people.
Look at there's a van like carrying their equipment. It says Esterville, home of the midgets.
How have they not changed that?
They refuse. I tell people at work
that Esterville's they will not be on that woke text chain that you're on, Hassel, that alerts you when something is woke.
So Esterville Lincoln Central Midgets. They've changed their name, but only because they added another school. But they have not changed their nickname. When people start talking about Iowa and all, at work and ask me that, I say, I'll tell you one thing about Iowa. We have a school whose nickname is the Midgets.
All right, can we
it's
get back
the
to
Midgets
Iowa?
and Midgets. Did you not know this?
No, I think I did know it. I just didn't know it was Esterville. I've heard this before.
All right, sorry. Well, you gave
Just
the
trying
shout
to give a
out.
shout out to one of our
I've only
seasons.
ever known Esterville as the home of the midgets. All right, so let's get back to the Iowa schedule and let's W&L this thing.
Okay.
You're starting with Utah State. That's a
It's
win. Then it's the Iowa Corn Cyhawk game.
Can I ask you this just real quick? And Iowa's going to be a touchdown favorite in this now because of the suspensions and whatnot.
Remember when that line first came out and Iowa
Yeah.
State was favored?
Yeah. Iowa will be, I don't know if it'll be a touchdown, probably like 4 to 7 points in there, I would guess. Because Iowa's had some additions since then. Like I just think that's where it ends up. Mm-hmm. Do you at all, as an Iowa fan, do you have any worries at all that like Campbell got over the hump figured something out, or was that just a product last year of just a really, really bad offense with Iowa?
I think that was a POP.
Excuse me?
A product of Petrus.
All right.
And the weather. No, but I do worry just because Iowa State has no expectations.
You're right there. Yeah.
It's that game always worries me no matter what. This year it worries me because no one is really going to be picking Iowa State to win the game.
Nobody will. Yeah, you're right.
But I'm going to go with Iowa, even though it does scare me. So I've got them at 2-0.
Okay.
Then Western Michigan win 3-0. And then I think this is where the whole season hinges. At Penn State, whiteout, CBS.
That's a loss.
Night game. I think this is that 2009 Adrian Claiborne blocked punt return for a touchdown. That sort of game. If Iowa wins that game, things get real. But I cannot pick them outright just to go in there and win it.
I think Penn State's pretty good, man.
They are. They're a playoff contender.
Penn State too, if you look at them in their current form, like they really are good. They're really good against everybody except Michigan and Ohio State. They don't lose to many teams that are not Michigan and Ohio State. They just like beat the shit out of Auburn that one. You know what I mean? They are really good, but they're 4-14 under him against Michigan and Ohio State.
They'll be top 10 in the AP poll next week. I think Van Wink was just showing the coaches poll where they're 7th. So I'm not going to pick them to win that game. So I've got them 3-1 coming home for what should be a couple of wins: Michigan State and Purdue. Both at Kinnick Stadium, win. That's 5-1, and then again, this is the second. You could argue the biggest game of the season because of the division. I think the Iowa-Penn State game is more. That's going to tell you if this is going to be a special season, or if Iowa's going to have to kind of regroup. At Wisconsin, or as my dad would say, Wisconsin, because he puts a T at the end of every word that ends in N. Iowa at Wisconsin. I can't pick them to win that game. I'm not going to do it.
Can we just tap the brakes, though? I mean, Wisconsin has a new coach.
But it's at Wisconsin.
I get it, but this air raid
offense, great coach.
I'd rather play them October 14th than November 14th.
Well, this is, more than halfway through the season, right? I mean, it's not like they're just getting going, right? They should be, that's mid-season form right there.
All right.
If this game was at Iowa, I would pick Iowa. But I'm going because it's at Wisconsin.
I don't know.
So that's loss number 2. Okay. Then it's home against Minnesota. I'm picking Iowa. PJ Fleck still hasn't beaten Kirk. At Northwestern, Wrigley Field, win.
Game's at Wrigley Field?
Yes. Home against Rutgers, win. Home against Illinois to close the season. At home, anyway. To close the home season.
Schedule's a joke.
I only have Iowa at 2 losses here. But I do think one of these 2 last games is going to get them. Whether home against Illinois or at Nebraska. I'm going to say they lose one of those. I've got them also at 9-3.
Yeah, I feel like that's a safe place to put them.
But
I told you, I got these sources at Illinois. They think they're better than people think.
Illinois is. I think Illinois.
They think they're going to be good.
They could win the division. I think behind Wisconsin and Iowa, it's Illinois.
My Nebraska people think that they are definitely heading in the right direction, but a year away from really doing anything. But that's a tough one. Black Friday in Lincoln. They put everything into that game. You know they will. It doesn't matter what their record's going to be. You know, Iowa, in theory, is playing for a Big Ten championship, where Nebraska's just trying to get to 6. So it's a different mindset going into that one. But they feel they're that they are recruiting well enough. They're heading in the right direction, but they're not going to be there this year. My insiders.
They beat Iowa last year, and I think they'll be better this year.
Wait, POP didn't play in that game, did he? Or he got hurt? What happened? Petrus, didn't he get hurt in that game last year, the Nebraska game?
Yeah.
That's where he got hurt.
God, yeah. Well, the big injury in that game was it DeJean went down, and that was it.
One Pride Hawkeye says
only hope.
11-1 or bust this year. Justin Pierce says 13-1, baby. This is the year. I'm glad you guys are keeping your expectations in check.
Look, I'm here to tell you, I just picked him to go 9-3, which would hit the over. I think if they go 9-3, fans are going to be disappointed. If they go 9-3 the way I see them going 9-3, where you don't win any of the big game. The big games are at Penn State and at Wisconsin. If you don't win either one of those games and you don't reach 10 wins, I think the majority of fans are going to be disappointed. Look, Williams, you got to understand, this is Iowa. We're not talking Iowa State. We have a lot higher expectations than you guys. You don't have a 10-win season in your history. You probably never will. What is this?
Matty pulled up the old circa line here for Iowa.
Okay, the circa line is over 8.5 is you're getting plus money there, plus 105. Under, you're getting juice to minus 125. So it's a little bit juice to the under.
God, I would play the over.
I agree.
Jeez.
I agree.
I would play that right now.
I'm disappointed.
Hey, we need to know, though, is Petrus and Brian Ferentz in that quarterback room? We have to know this. Honestly, I need to know this. How much do they have to do with these quarterbacks?
And it's weird. They haven't really said, I don't know if anybody's asked Kirk or Brian or Spencer directly, what are you doing? All we know is that all I ever hear about Petrus is that he's got 1 year of eligibility left. He's part of the program, but he's probably not going to suit up this year. More than likely,
they rolled him out
he'll just
as
be
a
around the
starter?
program and then go somewhere else next year.
What if he started over McNamara against Utah State?
Well, that would never happen. But what if McNamara gets hurt?
Do you remember your reaction last year when that 6-3 win over South Dakota State?
Jesus Christ. I don't think it was. I think it was wasn't it 7-4 or something? It was.
Oh, it was a bizarre,
crazy.
Yeah.
I just remember that big fat guy in the stands that they kept showing him. They would show him after each time Iowa would get a safety, and he just kept getting more
7-3.
7-3. Okay, but it was 5-3. It was 5-3.
Oh, yeah.
Because Iowa scored 3 points in the first quarter, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth.
It's like a baseball box score. Jack Campbell with the safety. That's great. Yeah, Aaron.
But I'm serious.
7-3,
what
no
if
touchdowns.
McNamara gets hurt?
They got that guy from Wisconsin. The other guy from the volunteer coach.
I understand.
He brought that other guy from Wisconsin with him.
I get it. But all of a sudden, Petrus is just there. He's, hey, I'm here. You guys love me. I've got eligibility left. I know the offense.
Is he on scholarship?
I don't know. I wish.
This is stuff I need to know before we bet on Iowa.
Get Lystico and Dr.
Weeks.
to start grilling them on Petrus.
Because you realize how great of a show that's going to be?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an Iowa fan, my God. That's good.
I feel like you're putting your Iowa State Big 12 show at a bit of a disadvantage by saying that.
Oh, no.
You're hyping up the Iowa guys, and meanwhile,
different type of show.
You poor Brend and Osen over there doing the Big 12 show.
Their show will be more personality driven, I believe. Nick and Jake.
Young, hip.
Yeah, two different types of things, which is what we like about it. Bringing in different types of people here in Iowa everywhere. It's exactly what we want. All right. So what you sent me this text yesterday, and I couldn't find anything about this NIL guy, this Heinrichs. He just met the Iowa athletic department yesterday. Is that what you told me?
Yeah. My dad's best friend, Pat Hardy, tweeted out that the Iowa Swarm CEO, Brad Heinrichs, just said on the radio that he recently had a 30-minute conversation with the interim AD, Beth Getz, about NIL that was very productive. And Brad said he never met with Gary Barta about NIL.
That's incredible.
That
is incredible to me.
Especially when you consider the relationship that like Bloom has with Pollard and how they're working hand in hand and have been from the start, that we're over a year into this thing and the Iowa NIL guy finally got a conversation with the athletic department.
That is crazy.
What
is Barta's deal?
Right.
I don't understand that. Why this guy is trying to help you. This is the thing that boggles my mind about the relationships with these collectives and the universities. First of all, most of these collectives, they don't want to do this. It wasn't like they were sitting around being like, hey, this is a deal that most of these people are just these super fans who want to help the school win. And it's developed. They're trying to help these universities, but a lot of these people at the universities, Hassel, think, "Oh, well, they're just here to take our money."
Mm-hmm.
They need to work together. This is crazy to me. I thought you were screwing with me when you sent me that text yesterday, because we were talking about the cold brew coffee that Iowa State invented, and then you sent me that text.
Yeah, a lot happened yesterday in the NIL world with
Benches.
Iowa's NIL guy finally meeting with the athletic department and Bloom rolling out his signature Amish glider for $2,000 a crack. How many do you think? Did you see Steph Copley? She got all fired up about it.
What'd she get fired up
She
about?
said, she tweeted at me last night, she said, if we sell one of these in the first 24 hours, can I just throw a pie right in your face?
We'd all like to see that.
Yeah. She got feisty.
Shout out to our friends at Circa. We'll be going out there in a couple weeks. You guys, still not too late to join us. It'll be week 0. Aiden has never been to Vegas. He's going with us, Hassel. We're going to stay out at
Aiden,
Circa.
you've never left Central Iowa, have you?
I'm from Eastern Iowa, so.
Okay, you've never left. He's never ventured outside the borders of the Mississippi or the Missouri. He's only been in Iowa
I've been
his
locked
whole life.
up, yeah.
So you've never been to $5 blackjack at Binion's at 2 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, my God.
Just missed my list.
What's the dealer's name, Williams?
Zoomier.
Zoomier, yeah.
We'll be signing up for the Circa Million Pro Football Contest. $6 million in guaranteed prizes in Circa Survivor. And you can follow mine Hassel's journey throughout the year as we go to win the big. What do we do if we win $1 million, Hassel? What are you going to do?
That's a good question.
Load up on
gonna put in a pool?
those Amish chairs.
Yeah, how many
Yeah,
We Will
you know what?
Collective Bloom
I'm gonna
special edition Amish chairs could we
I'm
buy?
going to take that piece of shit patio furniture that I bought earlier this year, and I'm going to go back and buy the Amish one. That's what I'm going to do.
You know what they should do? Because the Jack Trice bleachers look so bad, like, don't repaint them. Just rip them out and put 50,000 of these Bloom Amish gliders in there.
The Bloom signature bench. My buddy Chris Shipley had a great tweet last night. He goes, he said something like, "We Will's playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers. We're going to get you all drunk on beer and vodka at night, and now we've got coffee for you in the morning."
Oh, man.
It's gold.
The escorts are coming, right? The We Will escorts?
All
That's
right.
the next step.
preseason NFL gets going, not a lot of meat to pick off at that point. So you watched the Johnny football documentary.
Yes.
Aiden was telling me about this yesterday when we were in the office. I'm going to watch it this weekend. I still got to knock out. The only thing I'm watching right now is the Knoxville Nationals. I refuse to have anything else on, even if it's a replay. I'm
What's
just
with all
watching
these
the
weekday dirt races?
The
It's
Knoxville Nationals always go in the weekday, bro.
I'll text you on like a Tuesday. Watching dirt racing here on my digital network with Blake Anderson. What's that thing called?
I'm going
Dirt
to
Vision.
I'm going with Blake tonight. I'm going to the Nationals with him tonight. Excited for this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, I got home. We went to the brewery last night and did a little trivia at the brewery. We finished in last place. But came home, watched the Johnny Manziel doc, and man, if you're one of those people that just hates NIL, watch this, because this will give you a reminder as to why we need to have NIL.
Mm-hmm.
This guy,
he got screwed
totally. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to make some money off of it. And all he was doing was, he was actually putting in some work. He was at least signing things.
Mm-hmm.
He was at least doing things to earn the money as opposed to just being paid the money to play. Because there's a difference. Pay to play is what it's become.
Yes.
NIL is what Johnny Manziel was basically doing, but at the time it wasn't legal. And he got suspended like a half of a game against Rice. But
and then didn't he like come in the second half and he was doing like the money sign?
Yeah, that's when he started with the money. So that was his sophomore year. Yeah. So that's what struck me, was just a reminder why we need NIL, because that was preposterous what he did for college football and for that university in that short amount of time, and not being able to legally earn a dime off of it, even though he illegally did. But I thought it was interesting, but I wish it was longer. It's only like an hour and 10 minutes, and I just feel like we didn't get as much as we could have. I think it should have been a couple parts, like the first part college, second part NFL, because once he got to the NFL, it was basically over. They didn't get too far into that, other than he was like, I didn't watch tape, I didn't love the game, and I went off the deep end. And there just wasn't much to it. I was a little bit underwhelmed by, and Dylan says the same thing in the comments, documentary felt rushed and didn't go very deep. It was entertaining, it was interesting. I liked hearing from Johnny Manziel, and he didn't hold back, but I do think it could have gone a lot further.
And then we've got the Hard Knocks with the Iowa State Jets.
Did you watch it? I didn't watch it this week.
I had. Well,
this was the first week.
I was rushed to do it, and then Aiden told me that it didn't really feature any of the Iowa State guys. I will watch it. Boy, I mean, we've talked about this though. I don't know how you could have a more entertaining team this year with Aaron Rodgers and everything going on in New York. I think that they hit an absolute home run with this. I would bet that this is the highest rated Hard Knocks they've had since the Cowboys, for sure. You know, that year they had Dallas, but man,
I haven't watched Hard Knocks the last several years. It just it was always done really well, and I loved it the first few years. Like I picked it up when it was the year they had the Jets, and it was Rex Ryan, and it was great. It was great. But then, I don't know, I feel like it got too formulaic. It was always the same thing. They were always just picking out the guys on the edge, and you know how the story's going to end. He's going to miss out on a spot on the team, and they're going to show video, show when they had to let him go, and it just, I don't know. Last couple of years, I wasn't interested. I think I might watch this year, but I don't know. We'll see. You really have to hook me to get me watching that stuff.
I just got to get I got to get Knoxville over with before I can focus on football.
When did Knoxville Nationals start?
Last night.
So they're racing on a Wednesday night.
Well, the 360 Nationals were last week, and now the big dogs are out there. Yeah, they start. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's a 4-night show.
Man, you're a weirdo.
Feels a little uncalled for.
It's just,
do you know how
really
big
weird.
this thing has gotten? It's like been sold out for days.
I get it. I understand. I mean, I covered the Knoxville Nationals a little bit. I just don't get the whole appeal of the dirt track. It's dirty. It's loud.
That's two of the great parts of it. You can get dirty, the smell.
But like doing that on a
with
Wednesday night,
fan. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
what
to
else
me,
are you gonna
that's
do?
it seems like something that would have to like I have to be.
Your guy Donnie Schatz there won it last night. By the way,
Schatz won it again.
He won last night. He won the preliminary.
Oh, he's the OG. He's the GOAT.
He's not the GOAT, but he's damn close.
He's my GOAT. He would
He's
win
the modern
every
day
single
GOAT.
time. We would when I worked at WHO. And this is over 10 years ago now, but every Sunday, somebody from Knoxville would run up it was like a tape from the previous night, like highlights from the previous night. And we would run the highlights. I would run the highlights on like the 5 or 6 o'clock news that night. And it would always end with in the A main event, Donnie Schatz shat on the competition and picked up his 942nd victory here at Knoxville. And it was the same shit. They'd be, celebrating in Victory Lane. There'd be like this just bosomy young lady up like as like the trophy girl handing the trophy to the dirty dirt tracker. But I just can't imagine like Wednesday night. Hey, honey, what do you want to do on a Wednesday? You know what? Let's go to the dirt track.
You think I'm taking my wife? You're crazy.
My dad is in the comments, and he just asked simply, why is the top of the car a box?
It's not a box, Don. It's a wing.
It's a simple question from a simple man.
What are you doing this weekend? Anything?
Well, it's a rare week for me, Williams. A rare 5-day work week at HQ.
Oh, wow. You poor bastard.
They called me in. They need me to work tomorrow. So I'm working Friday because Gara is out. Gara is out in South Dakota doing some kind of Bellator coverage for Showtime. And so I'm coming in on Friday, and I don't know what we're doing this weekend. It's my second to last weekend home. So we got to utilize the pool. Other than that, probably crank on Dirt Vision, watch the Knoxville Nationals.
Nothing better.
Is that what it is, Dirt Vision?
Yeah. All these dirt racing streaming things just sound so dirty. There used to be one. It was called Dirt on Dirt.
Dirt on Dirt?
Yeah, Dirt Crown. There's all these they all have dirt in the name. It's so great.
So
other than Flow, and that's where Blake works.
Let me get this straight. Oh, Flow Racing, yeah.
Yeah. Flow's that's by far the most modern one.
Interesting name. So if it rains, what happens?
Do it the next day.
Because my father-in-law, big dirt track fan, he was going to go to the Adams County Raceway. Mm-hmm. And they canceled the races because it rained like 24 hours before that.
It's too muddy. You can't race in mud.
Why not? What the hell's the difference?
Can't.
You're already dirty.
No, God, you're an idiot. I'm taking Aiden with me tonight. He's going to he's my designated driver. This part of that's his internship duty tonight.
Really? Wow. So in the next 2 weeks, Aiden's going to the dirt track and Vegas.
It's the American dream.
Wow. What a lucky guy.
His final report on the internship this summer will be quite interesting. It's weird, too, and Iowa State never has me come and speak to young journalism students. I don't understand why.
They don't?
I'm just kidding.
Who do they have, Bloom?
Yeah, Bloom.
You can grow up and be just like me and ask people for monies to pay prayers. And if you do it right, you might get to sit on my Amish custom signature glider.
Did you know that Bloom was given one of those Amish chairs? This is the most Bloom thing ever. And I don't think he particularly wanted it at his house. And he tried to bum it off on me. He wanted to put it in our studio. He's like, well, because I had to go pick it up for him because I have a truck, and he didn't. It doesn't.
Wait, so someone was giving this to Bloom, and he wouldn't pick it up himself. You had to go pick it up for him?
Well, yeah, because he doesn't have a vehicle to put it in.
Oh, my God, this guy.
So
I'm surprised he didn't just make his wife go get it with the Amish. The Amish could bring it back in a horse and buggy.
We go and pick this thing up, and he's like, well, if you want, you could put it in the studio. Might look good there. I was like, yeah, I don't really think I want it. He's like, oh, it's just an idea. I'm like, where are you going to put it? He's like, I don't know.
Well, somebody wants one. Retro Gamer Dad says, dude, who wouldn't want one?
Let's get out of here.
Let's skedaddle.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Next week,
no
we'll
realignment
debut
talk
the two
today.
New shows. What?
That's next week that starts?
Yes. Yeah.
So which days?
Aiden's in control of these. When do our guys?
Big Ten is shooting on Monday, and then Jake and Nick are on Thursday.
All right, Monday and Thursday.
And are they coming into your studio to do this?
Jake and Nick are.
Yeah, Doctorman's in Iowa City or in Cedar Rapids, so they'll do theirs remotely.
All right. Looking forward to getting an update on Spencer Petras.
They better. If not, they're fired. All right, have a great weekend, everybody. Appreciate you all watching, listening, however you consume the product. Take care.